Hello, and today I'm going to guide you through the tutorial that will help you practice the tools that are used during the MCAS test. When you're taking the MCAS tests, and also when you're doing this tutorial and the practice test, you'll be using either a desktop computer, a laptop, or maybe a combination of both, or an iPad. If you're using a computer, you'll need to sign in to the testing account first. If you're at Heights or East, the username is testing and the password is test. If you're at Cottage, the username and password is MCAS. So computer users, you'll need to log into the testing account first. iPad users, you're just simply looking for the TestNav app. So the TestNav app looks like this. Once logged in and once ready, go ahead and double click or tap on it. Once TestNav has started, it should go to a sign-in screen that says Massachusetts above it. Make sure it says Massachusetts. If it doesn't, you'll need to go up to the top right corner of the window. At the user drop-down menu, you want to click and choose a different customer. From there, look for our state, Massachusetts, and click on it. But if you see Massachusetts here, then you're ready to go. Now on the actual testing day, you will be signing in with a username and password. But while doing the tutorial and the practice test, you won't need to sign in. So just go ahead and click on Practice Tests. Once here, click on TestNav 8 Student Tutorial. When you do take the practice tests later, you'll be going to one of these options. So I'm going to stop the video here so that all students can get to this screen, and then once everybody's at this screen, I'll continue. At this point, all of you should be at this screen on your device where it says, Welcome TestNav User. So again, this is the tutorial that will guide you through using the tools on the MCAS test. There is only one section, but yes, there are 42 total questions. Seems like a lot, but most of this is information which I'm going to guide you through. There's also going to be some sections that you'll skip, and then there'll be some sections where you'll get to practice too. So go ahead and click on the Start button. You may click Start again, it's just restating that there are 42 questions. And that brings you to the Welcome screen. Now, this is telling you that it is, again, a tutorial, that there are 3 parts to the tutorial. This is where you're going to be clicking now, and you'll be clicking each time we move from section to section. So go ahead and click on the Next button, right here, blue arrow. So when you're ready to take the actual test, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. And you actually already had seen that screen before. Now, most of you will not need to test the audio because most of you will not need headphones. If you need headphones, your teacher will tell you and you'll be given the headphones. So if you're not using headphones, there's no need to click on Test Audio. So you can go ahead and click this next button. Here is the sign-in screen again. On the actual testing days, you will be given a ticket that has your own unique username and password. You'll be typing that in carefully on the testing day. And once you sign in, you do want to make sure that your name is in the top right corner. So here where it says TestNav User, it should say your name, so we know that it's you that is taking the test. So go ahead and click the Next button to go to number 4. All right, follow along with me. This is the parts of the screen that is important that you'll see on most of the test. We know about the going back button and the going forward button, those blue buttons there. This is the review section, which we'll talk about in just a moment. The bookmark section. And then these are the tools. Depending on the test you're taking, you may see some of these tools that here, and you may not see some of the tools. This is showing you the type of test it is. And if there's a session number, the session number will be in here. And this is where you're at, and that's the total number of questions. Okay, and you can see a little bit more detail right there. So next button. All right, it's always a good idea to review your answers once you are finished taking a test. So to review any answers, you just simply click on the review button and you will see the questions that you've actually answered, and then the questions that you have not answered will have orange dots next to them, and you can see that that is also shown down here as well. Go ahead and click the next button. Bookmarking can be very helpful because there probably will be a question that you come across and you get stuck on and you just want to move on and come back to it later. Certainly advisable to do that. All right, so if you do need to bookmark a question, just simply click the bookmark button and then that will allow you to come back and review it later. You can see on this example that there are 2 questions that have been bookmarked on the test. So go ahead and try it out. Click on the bookmark button and click on review so that you can see that this question we're on, question number 6, has been bookmarked. Then to unbookmark it, because let's say you come back to it later and you've answered the question, just click the bookmark button again. All right, once you have practiced bookmarking, you can go ahead and click on the next button. All right, when you're at the end of a session, and all tests have at least 1 session, most of them actually have 2. When you do reach the end of a session on a particular day, you'll be given this screen that looks like this. It will tell you if there's some questions you've missed and there's some questions you've bookmarked. So that will give you a chance to go to the review button and head back to those questions that you have not answered or you have bookmarked. And you can see how there are some examples here if you scroll down on this screen. This is also a good chance to practice scrolling if you have not done that already, because as you can see, there's a lot of information here and you don't want to miss any of that information when you're taking the actual test. So again, you want to scroll down so that you can take a look at these examples of using the review button to go back to any questions and reviewing your answer. And then this is telling you that, let's say, you're way back on question number 2 and there's over 40 questions on the test, which is highly unlikely. You can just click end of section and it'll bring you right back to the end. It just jumps right back to the end. That's a lot easier than clicking the forward and back and next buttons several times. So I'm going to go ahead and click the next button. And then there's the end of session screen once again, but this time it's showing that all the questions have been answered and nothing has been bookmarked. So that's really what it should show before you click submit section. And most teachers will want you to let them know that you have finished before you click that submit section. So I wouldn't click on that till you've raised your hand and told your teacher on the actual practice and real tests. because once you do click that submit section button, it is going to give you a warning to tell you that once you leave this section, you can't return to it. So it's important that you have answered all the questions and you've reviewed before you click that yes button. Next. And if for some reason you need to exit the test before you're completed, and that could be because of a restroom break or stopping to go to lunch, you will need to go up to the top right corner and click on sign out of TestNet. I don't want anyone to do that now because that will exit the tutorial, but that's what you would do to come back later. All right, finally, next is the submitting the test section. And once you have reached the end of a session and there is nothing left of the test, and most tests actually do have 2 sessions to it, you'll be submitting final answers instead of exiting a section. And again, making sure you have reviewed, removed the bookmarks, and check with your teacher before clicking on that, because you can't go back once you've done that. Next button. So we just finished the first part of the tutorial, items numbers 1 through 10, which was about moving through the test. Now we're at part 2 of the tutorial, which is using the tools. The tools on the test could be in 3 different areas. There's the toolbar, then there's the user drop-down menu. When you click here, you will see there's a few other tools here. And then sometimes, as shown in this picture, there may be other tools on the right side of the screen. So go ahead and click the next button. First, we're going to focus on the toolbar tools, which are shown here. So there is the pointer, which we're currently on, the ruler, the notepad, the calculator, and the answer eliminator. Notice how if I click on a tool, it shuts it off, and then click on it again, it turns it on. You can only use one tool at a time. So you may want to practice just clicking on these tools on the toolbar, but don't actually start using them yet. Okay, 4th and 5th graders. The tutorial that remains, starting with item number 13. You are going to be doing it the rest of the tutorial on your own using a checklist. Your teacher probably has already passed that checklist out to you. If not, she's going to do that now so that you'll have it in front of you. The checklist has 3 columns on it. The first column says item. Item is the actual item number. It's going to show you that items 1 through 12 have already been completed because this video guided you through it. So here, number 13, the pointer tool, this is where you're going to be on your own. So when you look at this item number on the checklist, the second column that says task tells you the information that you need and what you should actually do. Okay, so on this item number 13, you're going to be bookmarking this section. All right, so when you have completed a section, you can check the completed column. It's very important to note that there are some skipped items on this tutorial. You'll see on the checklist that it goes from 13, then to 14, then to 15, 16, but then there's no 17. That means you skip it. You just click that next button, you go right past it, because you're most likely not going to need it when you're taking the actual MCAS test. All right, so I know there's 42 total questions, but if you're skipping a bunch of them, it's not going to take as long. All right, so at this point, I'm going to stop the video, and you're going to use the checklist to go from here to continue learning about and practicing the tools.